Greetings, one and all. My name is Aisha Kamishong, and today I will be presenting on behalf of my group on the topic the negative impact of technology on society. Now, when we think about technology, computers and telecommunications are what come to mind, but it is more than that. Technology is not only limited to computerized equipment, but it is the application of scientific knowledge, tools, and techniques to the practical aims of human life, or, as it is sometimes phrased, to the change and manipulation of the human environment. Now, technology signifies the advancement of a country. Society, on the other hand, is defined as a group of people with common territory, interaction, and culture. Now, as it relates to society, technology can have both negative and positive impacts. One of the most obvious positives is that information can be broadcasted globally through various communication channels within seconds. However, sometimes a positive can be used in a negative way, and once used in a malicious manner, it can result in a country's demise, leaving society to plunder alongside it. Now, while we can simply look around us and boast of the improvements and advanced quality of life that technology has heralded, its many negative impacts may not necessarily be as quick to discern for the naked eye, but the statistics certainly are glaring. Some examples of these negative impacts of technology on society include 1. Social isolation. Technology has made it easier for people to connect with others online, but it has also led to social isolation because people are spending a lot more time on their devices and less time interacting with others in person. Then there's addiction. Technology can be addictive, particularly in the areas of social media and gaming. People have started to spend excessive amounts of time on these platforms, leading to negative impacts on their mental and physical health. Then there's the issue of cyberbullying. Technology has made it easier for people to bully others online, and cyberbullying can have serious consequences, including depression, anxiety, and even suicide. Then there's job displacement. Automation and the introduction of artificial intelligence are technological advancements that have led to job displacement in some industries. This can lead to economic hardship for individuals and communities. And then, of course, there's the environmental impact. Technology can have a significant environmental impact. For example, the production and use and disposal of electronic devices can lead to pollution and other environmental problems. And lastly, there is the issue of privacy concerns. Now, technology has certainly raised concerns about privacy. Companies and governments may collect and use personal data in ways that individuals may not be aware of or comfortable with. Now, in today's presentation, we're going to focus on one specific area, and that's of cybersecurity and privacy. Now, technology has undoubtedly had a significant impact on society, but it has also given rise to new challenges and threats, particularly in the realm of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity refers to the practice of protecting computer systems, networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access, use, modification, destruction, or theft. It involves a range of measures and technologies designed to prevent, detect, and respond to cyber threats, such as malware, phishing, hacking, and cyber espionage. Now, effective cybersecurity requires a combination of technical and non-technical measures, including encryption, firewalls, threat intelligence, vulnerability assessment, employee training, access control, and incident response planning. It is a critical aspect of modern-day computing, and it is essential for safeguarding sensitive data and protecting against cyber attacks that can cause financial losses, reputational damage, and legal liability. Now, here are some negative impacts of technology on society with respect to cybersecurity. On discussing this topic, we're going to talk a bit about cybercrime, cyber espionage, cyber warfare, privacy concerns, and dependency. Now, as it pertains to cybercrime, technology has certainly made it easier for criminals to commit cybercrimes such as hacking, phishing, identity theft, and cyberbullying, as was previously mentioned. These cybercrimes can have a devastating impact on individuals and organizations, including financial losses, reputational damage, and emotional trauma. Now, in 2020, the World Economic Forum reported that cyber attacks were ranked as the fifth most likely global risk over the next 10 years after extreme weather events, natural disasters, failure of climate change mitigation, and adaptation and human-made environmental disasters. And according to a report by Cybersecurity Ventures, cybercrime is expected to cost the world $10.5 trillion annually by 2025, up from $3 trillion in 2015. And according to a survey by the Cyberbullying Research Center, nearly 34% of students in the United States have experienced cyberbullying. Another study has found that 70% of young people aged 15 to 34 have experienced cyberbullying, with the majority of the incidents occurring on social media platforms. The National Crime Prevention Council reports that cyberbullying victims are more likely to suffer from low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts than those who have not experienced cyberbullying. And it is important to note that the impact of cyberbullying can extend beyond the victim to affect family members and friends who may also experience emotional distress. Now, cyber espionage and cyber warfare, this occurs when nation states and actors utilize technology to spy on individuals, companies, and governments. This can lead to the theft of sensitive data, intellectual property, and classified information. Technology has also made it possible for countries to conduct cyber attacks against other countries' critical infrastructure, such as power grids, transportation systems, and financial networks. These attacks can disrupt essential services and cause widespread panic and chaos. A quick example, in February 2023, the pro-Russian hacking group Killnet claimed responsibility for DDoS attacks against NATO's networks used to transmit sensitive data. The attack disrupted communications between NATO and airplanes providing earthquake aid to a Turkish airbase. The attack also took NATO sites offline temporarily. Now, as we look at privacy concerns, the increasing use of technology in our daily lives has led to concerns about the privacy and security of our personal information. For example, social media platforms collect vast amounts of data about their users, which can be used for targeted advertising or sold to third-party companies. For instance, in 2018, it was revealed that Cambridge Analytica, a political consulting firm, had obtained the personal data of millions of Facebook users without their consent. The data was then used to create targeted political ads during the 2016 US presidential election. Another example is the use of facial recognition technology by social media companies. Facebook, for instance, uses facial recognition to identify users in photos and suggest tags. However, there are concerns about the privacy implications of this technology, as it can be used to identify individuals without their knowledge or consent. Now, these examples highlight the need for social media companies to be more transparent about their data collection practices and to provide users with greater control over their personal information. Now, dependency. Of course, society has become increasingly reliant on technology. It also then has become more vulnerable to cyber attacks. For example, if a hospital's computer systems are hacked, it can lead to patient records being compromised or critical medical equipment being shut down. Now, in 2020, the University of Vermont Medical Center was hit by a cyber attack that disrupted its electronic medical record system. The attack caused delays in patient care and forced the hospital to divert some patients to other facilities. So now I would like to expound further on one international example of the negative impacts of technology on society and one local example of its negative impacts. Now, I'm looking at, I'm calling it the USA versus WikiLeaks case or dilemma. Now, WikiLeaks is an international nonprofit organization that is known for publishing secret information, news leaks, and classified media provided by anonymous sources. In 2020, WikiLeaks published a large trove of classified information on the US government's diplomatic and military activities, including information related to the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. Now, the information published by WikiLeaks on the CIA included thousands of documents and files which reveal the agency's hacking tools, surveillance techniques, and cyber espionage capabilities. Now, the documents known as the Vault 7 leak included information on malware viruses and zero-day exploits that the CIA had developed and used to hack into computers, smartphones, and other devices. The leak was one of the largest and most damaging in the agency's history, and it raised serious questions about the government's surveillance practices and the use of cyber weapons for espionage and intelligence gathering. Now, one could argue that the leak was a positive thing to happen because people now became more aware, but it demonstrated in real time, the negative impact of things like cyber espionage and cyber warfare internationally. Now, we don't have to look too far from our backyards for an example, not of a cybersecurity breach per se, but of increased concern as it pertains to data protection and privacy concerns. On December 29, 2021, a preliminary list of all eligible voters in Barbados was posted on the Barbados Government Information Service website. The list included people's surnames, first and middle names, national registration numbers, gender, date of birth, residential status, constituency, their polling station, and address of over 264,000 individuals. Now, this document could be downloaded by anyone with access to the internet, not just Barbadian citizens and residents. Now, the Representation of the People Act of 1991 states that this information, name, address, occupation, and electoral number of eligible persons must be included. And Section 3 of the 2019 amendment to the Act allows the Electoral and Boundaries Commission to publish a register in a format which the public can read and search electronically. Now, the reason for publishing is to allow persons the time to make any relevant changes to their information in order to vote. Now, the Data Privacy Act of 2019 of Barbados defines the information published in the voters list as personal information, the disclosure of which may have a significant impact on the lives of citizens and residents of Barbados. The availability of the full names, date of birth, national registration number, and address of all eligible voters in Barbados on the internet exposes them to significant risks of things like financial fraud, stolen identity, stalking, and even home invasion and assault. So the preliminary list of voters was quickly removed after being online for a few days. However, the downloadable PDF was quickly shared multiple times locally, via social media, and across instant messaging platforms, but it was also uploaded to online platforms such as, internationally known Reddit. It can be assumed that this information is in the hands of criminals and may be used to launch general or targeted attacks against individuals. Now, despite the requirements stipulated by the regulations, it is hoped that government will seek to minimize the level of information included in the publicly available voters list to not include certain things such as your national registration number and your date of birth. Now, for there to be a definite future, not just for humans, but the entire world, a sound, sustainable, practical, solutions-based framework or blueprint is, of course, needed. The focus now cannot be on how technology is negatively impacting society, but a mindset shift has to happen. We can consider, how are we going to not only salvage ourselves, but how do we ensure that the negative impact does not become so out of hand that nothing can aid it, slow it down, turn it around, or take away from finding the best solution to eradicate its impact? As the technology affects so much of our daily lives, its negative traits can be avoided with better and more open communication, as well as an increased effort to implement cyber education. These are measures that can be considered towards a resolution to help society heal. Now, cyber education is a type of education that focuses on teaching individuals about the various aspects of cybersecurity, including the risks and threats associated with using technology and the steps they can take to protect themselves and their digital assets. The goal of cyber education is to raise awareness about cybersecurity threats and provide individuals with the knowledge and skills they need to protect themselves. With the increasing independence on technology in our daily lives, cyber education has become even more important as cyber attacks continue to grow in frequency and sophistication. So aspects such as what is cyberbullying and how to recognize it and how to respond as a result of it, and how to protect your personal information, guard your privacy, how to install software correctly, all of these things will aid in protecting and securing oneself when using technology. Additionally, creating and maintaining a confidential but yet comfortable environment where persons can express themselves or be engaged in conversation or approach if need be if they're experiencing things like depression, anxiety, or any other psychological or emotional outcomes can help to combat some of these negative impacts that are happening as a result of our use of technology. So in conclusion, nothing can take place without making an effort to try to fix these negative impacts that can occur due to technology. It is important to recognize these negative impacts and work to mitigate them while continuing to enjoy the benefits of technology. Thank you very much.